Anyways, exciting.
All right, I want to get started. I'm thrilled to see such a good turnout here. I always worry that with all the security arrangements that we won't get a decent turnout, but this is great. Bilahari draws a good audience. So first I want to say I'm Andy Nathan. I'm a professor of political science. I'm in the Weatherhead East Asian Institute. Second thing is I want to introduce the Borton Mosley lecture series briefly. Hugh Borton was one of the founders of what was then called the East Asian Institute. He was a Japan specialist. Now we're called the Weatherhead East Asian Institute. He had a distinguished career studying Japan. He participated in the key decisions of the occupation after World War II in Japan about keeping the emperor in place, revising the constitution, and so on, and then came back to Columbia, helped to found the East Asian Institute and develop Japan studies at Columbia. And then when he retired from Columbia, he went and served as the president of Haverford College before retiring finally to a life as a farmer for a period of time. Philip Mosley was a key figure in the creation of what was then called the Russian Institute, with an N, which is now the Harriman Institute. He was the Adlai Stevenson Professor of International Relations at Columbia. And besides his teaching career at Columbia, played a huge role in the State Department as an advisor and in the Council on Foreign Relations with Foreign Affairs magazine. The third thing I want to do is to introduce Alex Cooley, who's sitting here, who has long CV, many important books and important contributions. But the main thing to be said here is that he's a former director of the Harriman Institute, and he's a professor of political science at Barnard and the associate provost of what? Oh my damn, so many things. And a very important dude around the campus. And then, so now it's my great pleasure to introduce Bilahari Kausikan, an old, wonderful friend with a great sense of humor, among other things, and tremendous insight into international affairs. So Bilahari was at Columbia as a student in political science when?
77, 78 to 81.
Man, so I was here then. But you never... And he went all the way up to starting his dissertation, and then the light bulb went on in his head, and he's like, what the hell am I doing here? And he went back to Singapore and served in Washington, D.C. in a junior position. So the reason he was never ambassador to the United States was that he had already been to D.C. and realized he didn't want to go back there. But he served as the ambassador to Russia, where he told me it was a much easier job because they never told you anything in Russia. And he was Singapore's permanent representative to the United Nations. So New York was okay, DC not okay, but New York okay.